I'm a very special guest. Wendy Silinyana is an award-winning entrepreneur, business development specialist, and education advocate. She is the director of MiniBoss and BigBoss Business School in Johannesburg, founder and CEO of Virtue Business Solutions, and head of World Women Club South Africa. Her work focuses on entrepreneurship, education, youth and women's economic empowerment, innovation, ecosystems development, and inclusive access to business opportunities. She's very passionate about developing future business leaders and connecting South African entrepreneurs and young people to local and global platforms. I want to welcome Wendy. Good evening. How you doing?
Good evening, Tich, and thank you for having me. I've always listened to your shows and growing up, so this is a real great moment for me to be on your show.
Thank you so much. Well, I thought you were only 25 years old. Now that you said you've been listening to me.
43 this year.
Looking fantastic. I'm excited to have you on the show tonight. Let's talk about business and empowering young people. Director of MiniBoss Business School, Johannesburg, and also Soul Easy just became the first South African team to win the Startup World Cup Championship. What did that moment mean for you and MiniBoss South Africa?
Look, Tich, it's been 3 years since we launched the first branch of MiniBoss in South Africa, actually. And we've been participating at the Startup World Cup Championship for the past 3 years. And this is the very first time for us to actually win the championship. And so that was a historic moment for us first. In fact, it's the first time Africa has ever won the championship in 26 years of existence of the MiniBoss and BigBoss platform. So this was a historic moment. This was at the same time exciting and also a validation of the work that we do, that we are not just coming on a Saturday and meeting the students and teaching them, but seeing the results at that stage. It was just a surreal moment.
Well done. We're very proud of you. So normally you meet your students on a Saturday for how many hours?
Yep. So we are a weekend school, a weekend business school for children between the ages of 6 to 18. We have authors, we have innovators, we have bakers, we have students that have created safety board games. We have those who have created brands that are more educational. As you wear it, it's educating and also empowering. So we have a wide variety of students that we are helping them to unleash their full potential.
Wendy, can you tell me about the MiniBoss Business School, how it prepares young people to compete at high stages of international businesses such as Davos?
Thank you, Tich, for that question. So MiniBoss Business School, to start with, is an international business school, as I've mentioned, for young children, young children and youth. So what we do, our curriculum, we've got a process of where we enroll them and they get through a process of being taught theory of business skills and also entrepreneurship, and through practice, because we're not only focusing on just giving them the theory, but we take them through a process where for the first 3 months, they go through the theory. And on the fourth month, then they go through a process where they ideate, meaning that they come up with solutions. They get to choose which problems they're going to solve in the society, or which business idea they have. And then we help them to package and develop that idea. And through the Startup Forum, then they get to present that idea to jury members who, at certain instances, are also business leaders who can invest back into their businesses. So it's a capital raising exercise. And after that process, they get to compete. at the Startup World Cup Championship, where over 35 countries, mini bosses from all around the world, we convene in that particular country that we've chosen for that year. So this year, the Startup World Cup Championship was hosted in Switzerland, in Davos, which is the home of the World Economic Forum.
Yes.
So seeing those young people from South Africa representing our country at a stage where the global economy gets discussed was such a moment for us. So that's what we do. And upon return, we continue with our curriculum, which is about 8 courses that a student would cover over a period of 8 years. So we build not only the business, but the business leader himself. So it's a holistic program.
Love it. So it's an ideation process, and one of the things you're trying to encourage African students to do is to provide solutions to African problems. You know, one thing that I've really had
Absolutely.
problems with, you know, we pay so much for our tuition, and the things that my kids are learning today, it's stuff that I learned 30, 40 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of parents actually, they ask, can you really teach children business?
Mm.
And the response is that exactly that's the age they should learn about how to solve problems for themselves first, and how to solve problems for the nation, and also the way of thinking, and not
Yeah.
think about being a job seeker, but think of how to create economic opportunities for myself, and how do I earn money, and how do I want to earn money when I'm older. So they start earning actually while they are busy with, building their businesses
Mm.
and in class and learning, and start earning money.
So Solizi, founded by Lubanzi Dube, won the championship with innovation in Soul Solutions. What stood out to
Uh-huh.
the judges about this type of business?
Oh, he charmed them. I must say, the first thing he did, he charmed. I think for what I observed, because I was also part of the jury members, what I observed with him was that he understood his business, and which is important, and what we also try to instill in our students, that understand your business and know your business. Even if someone wakes you up at 3 a.m., you should be able to tell what your business does, what problem you're solving, and how are you solving that problem. And even, it was his first time to stand on a global stage at the Davos Congress Center, where only a few South African business leaders have actually stood on that stage. So it was a moment for him where at moments he made some mistakes, but
Mhm.
because he was himself, he was,
Yeah.
a very authentic in his presentation. He
Mm.
could, get back to the swing of things and continue with his presentation. So one, he's solving a real problem. He's his business is about designing insoles for people who are flat-footed, and also designing shoes as well for people who are flat-footed. So, and he himself has that problem. So he was not only solving a problem for other people, but he was solving a problem for himself. So as a result, he also made some sales, and so are the other students that they got to, that who got to compete at that stage.
Great story indeed. Uniquely Yours received the 2026 UN Gold Award and focuses on fashion with positive messaging. Why is addressing issues
Mhm.
like bullying important in business education these days?
It's important because it's something that happens. I mean, it happens with adults even, especially on social media. There was a story I was listening to yesterday, a few days ago, based on an interview that happened recently, and I could tell that we need education around bullying, and we need education around how we treat other people, because the way we treat other people is, how we want to be treated should be the way we treat other people. So Hati Bonteke, who is the CEO of Uniquely Yours, also experienced some level of bullying at school. And I like how she puts it. She says, you know, whether you are beautiful, whether you are ugly, whether you are smart, whether you are not smart, you will always be bullied.
Mm.
So the messaging on her clothing then affirms, you know, the person wearing them, and also educates those who are who can see the message. So it is important because it's something that needs to be talked about, and it's something that we need to educate our kids, especially at school, about. So Hati is doing that, and through the foundation she's also starting, she wants to conduct those workshops and also talks at schools where they can deal with the bullying pandemic.
I like where this is going, and I want to say beyond the three teams, what did it mean for South Africa to have this level of international presentation, you know, and get the kind of global focus that a lot of people only dream about in Davos?
I will start by saying when the head office said when the head office said Global Business Week and the Startup World Cup Championship will be hosted in Davos, for me it was a goal achieved because I grew up, you know, I had 5 goals and 3 I've achieved, and one of them was to be part of World Economic Forum. So when they said it's happening in Davos, I said, okay, this is God answering my prayers. But not only
Mm-hmm.
for me, for also the students that I am leading, and the
Yeah.
delegation that I'm leading, contributing to a business event that talks about you know, world challenges. And also, not only that, it may not be World Economic Forum, but it is a business platform that is opening an opportunity to not only be a participant, but to contribute in the discussion, and also not contribute only, but also win the prize. So it was a moment for us that allowed us to represent South Africa. As we say, with no DNA, just RSA. We always
Mm.
keep shining.
Yeah. Well, Wendy, you know, time is always an enemy, but as we wrap it up, how is Mini Business School integrating entrepreneurship, innovation, and AI into its curriculum for its learners?
So what we do is we encourage our students to say we're living in the digital age, and early adoption is important, because once you reject what's happening globally in terms of AI, will be left behind.
Mm.
So we introduce AI to help them to help them for efficiency, and also to help them to, in some cases, you'll find that they come up with an idea, but then they get stuck somehow. So we encourage them to use AI to help them to ideate, to also do research, and also to design some of their posters for social media, and also to help them to be ahead of the game. Because the more you use AI, it helps you to actually be ahead of the game, to get more time to your hands and get to do the things, and for AI to get to do the things that normally would take you a long time to achieve. So we encourage them to use AI, and we've seen them actually really adopting it, and being able to get ahead with it.
Wendy, thank you so much for having been part of tonight's African celebration. May you continue to do the great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Tich, and thank you for having me. Looking forward to next time.
Absolutely. My very special guest tonight, Wendy Silinyana, is an award-winning entrepreneur, business development specialist, and education advocate right here on the Power Seat.